relief this morning. This was the outcome they had hoped for, but perhaps not what many of them had expected. David Crowley beat Francesca Hong by less than a percentage point, not the margin that polls had indicated. But Hong had baggage from previous social media posts and lacked the endorsements of prominent progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders and AOC. Crowley's campaign is now out with a new statement this morning saying his next goal is to try and build a broad coalition.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Crowley faces Republican Tom Tiffany in November. Democrats in Minnesota went progressive, picking Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan as their nominee for Senate, defeating Congresswoman Angie Craig by 20 points. Flanagan's Republican challenger in that Senate race, former TV sportscaster Michelle Tafoya. In South Carolina, Republican Senator Darlene Graham, appointed to replace her late brother Lindsey, advanced to a runoff as she runs to stay in the Senate.
I want to thank President Trump, his steadfast support, and his complete and total endorsement.
Graham will face Congressman Ralph Norman in the runoff in 2 weeks. The winner replaces late Senator Lindsey Graham as the GOP nominee, taking on Democrat Annie Andrews in November. In Connecticut, Democratic Congressman John Larson became the 10th House lawmaker to lose a primary this year, beaten by Luke Bronin. We're learning more about President Trump's stealthy exit from the NATO summit last month, secretly switching planes because of an Iranian threat. He told reporters last night.
Well, it's only up to Secret Service. I just follow what they'd like to do.
And according to various reports overnight, the threat to Air Force One was from a shoulder-fire missile that he found out about from Israel.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Well, back to President Trump. He also keeps insisting that the U.S. controls Strait of Hormuz shipping, not Iran, as talks remain at a standstill.
Right now, we're in a very good position. We have a country that has been the bully of the Middle East for 50 years, and they're no longer the bully of the Middle East.
But Iran-backed rebels keep causing trouble in a nearby waterway, also key for shipping.
Houthi forces based in Yemen fired missiles at a vessel in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. That's the narrow opening between Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. Yemen's Coast Guard says the dead included 4 crew members and 2 members of government-allied forces. Houthis have recently escalated attacks on Yemeni government forces and Saudi oil facilities. Meanwhile, the U.S. says a military helicopter fired on a ship in the Gulf of Oman that tried to evade the blockade on Iranian ports. Central Command reports the Panama-flagged vessel ignored warnings to stop. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Now to controversy over a much smaller body of water. The Washington, D.C. reflecting pool, which President Trump had upgraded with a new blue sealant that didn't last very long.
White House officials have reached out to the Justice Department asking about a misdemeanor charge for David Hearn. Hearn, a former Olympic canoe racer, was previously charged with a felony, accused of ripping the sealant of the newly renovated reflecting pool. But U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro dropped the case, writing in a court filing. Evidence suggests the damage was done by a rushed job by contractors and not vandals. President Trump is fumed over Pirro's decision, saying the prosecutor is wrong and folded like an umbrella. The Wall Street Journal first reported the consideration of a misdemeanor charge. An official tells Fox no decision has been made. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
We'll get an inflation update later this hour on consumer prices for July. Stock futures are rising before the report. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Wednesday. It is August 12th, 2026, and this is the Valley's Morning News. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz and Jason Caterina from AccuWeather. He says 107 today. You know what I find surprising, Freddie? There's no word of it being record heat. So it was hotter at one point, right? 107-ish for today. That's a heat alert for the area, so heads up. We'll speak with AccuWeather in about 3 minutes, so please stick around. More changes now that school is up and running for, I think, a good portion of Valley school districts. More changes could be coming to public education in the state of Texas.
During COVID, schools scrambled to give kids laptops as part of a shift to online learning. 6 years later, there's now a push by Governor Abbott to roll back screen time. He says his work with cell phones
has proven to be overwhelmingly successful.
The new rules do not apply to district-issued laptops and tablets, but he hinted that could change next session, even though there has been little movement in the state legislature towards broader restrictions on classroom technology. Michael Board, News Talk 710 KURV.
In the effort to keep your kids safe from predators at school. Some teachers that prey on students. Governor Greg Abbott calling for tougher penalties for teachers who prey on kids.
While campaigning in Lubbock, Governor Abbott rolled out his new student safety initiatives, including tougher penalties for rogue teachers targeting students.
Last year, there were more than 1,600 allegations of inappropriate relationships between educators and students. That's almost triple the number from just the year before.
Abbott says the laws he has signed penalizing teachers and school administrators don't seem to have worked. He wants the number of victims at zero.
A new law that requires a mandatory minimum of 10 years behind bars of any educator who has inappropriate relations with a student.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
In Brownsville, jury selection for a Cameron County capital murder case is now underway. So prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against Rogelio Martinez Jr. He's accused of killing San Benito Police Lieutenant Milton Resendez back in 2023. Look at Starbase. They're assembling a 50-foot-tall bronze statue of Prometheus at Starbase. Latest on data centers for Texas. There's some data centers that Governor Greg Abbott says, yeah, he's okay with those.
And those are proposed sites for Skybox, Digital Realty, and Mara. Governor Abbott said those projects will comply with the standards and guidelines he established for data centers. Again, the main focus on these regulations involve the data centers essentially paying for their electric infrastructure instead of shifting costs onto Texans and small businesses. They also must reuse their own water and reduce the cost of electricity. Amazon and Google have both welcomed the new guidelines and say they will work with the state moving forward.
And an interesting local sports note. Check this out, Freddie. So the city of Edinburgh, they took time to honor a student athlete. This student athlete received a full college scholarship to play flag football, Freddie. Wow, I didn't realize it was that competitive, that in demand. So Edinburgh issued a proclamation honoring Caitlin Moreno. Congratulations, Caitlin, and her family. Caitlin Moreno, full scholarship. She will be attending, let's see here, Hendrix College, that is in Arkansas. Full ride for being really good at flag football. So good for you, kid. It's 7:09. It's AccuWeather the time. And I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin and Ranch. Stop by and say hello to Dougie. If you visit now at Martin Farm and Ranch, they have the best Purina nutrition for your animals, exotics and horses and cows, even family pets. Perfect for hunting season as well, is Martin Farm and Ranch. 107 is the forecast high for today. Jason Katerina from AccuWeather joining us. I was telling Freddie at the beginning of this hour's cast, I said, there's no mention of this being even record heat. So it was, what is the record for today?
I don't know.
It's not 107. Like, wow.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. 107 today, 105 tomorrow, and 103. You mentioned earlier in the week there might be a small chance of rain.
It's kind of bad
Right.
in Friday's forecast. Maybe a spotty thunderstorm. There's just a little twist in the atmosphere that may help to spark off a very spotty shower or thunderstorm. That's pretty much it.
Okay. And Texas weather, we good for the trucks today?
Yeah, all
Planes,
quiet, no
connections?
problems.
Okay.
Just blazing hot everywhere. So, maybe No, it's looking dry everywhere too. Not even a chance for a thunderstorm today.
Let's go to the tropics. Tropical coverage. The update: Caribbean, Gulf, Atlantic. What you got?
Still keeping an eye on that thing out in the Atlantic. Actually, our daily hurricane email just hit, so I was trying to take a look at that for us. But there is a system out in the Atlantic, south central Atlantic, that is expected to develop. It's got a high chance of developing into a tropical depression here in the next couple of days. And currently taking aim on the Windward and Leeward Islands, right about central, right in between the two. So certainly could enter the Caribbean, or it could hook off to the north over, Cuba and the Dominican and stuff like that, and then back out to sea. So we'll keep an eye on that. But there is at least some opportunity for some development there, moving eastward or westward rather in the south central Atlantic right
That's
now.
the one that you thought
That's the one we've been watching the last couple of days. Yeah,
that's the one that might go into what we call the bowling alley, just south of Cuba into the Gulf, or
yeah, there was some potential. I don't know what the steering currents look like out that way. Like I said, this thing is still just a loose band of showers and storms that are trying to coalesce. So, we'll see in the next day or two what the kind of outlook looks
if it develops into something and it has an interesting trajectory, it'd be for what? So sometime early next week, midweek next week, something like that, to keep an eye on it, or what?
Yeah, the amount of terrain it would have to cover, or ocean it would have to cover in that time period. Yeah, it wouldn't be until well into next week, I would think.
All right, pal. Got to cut you loose. Talk to you next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. I wanted to ask him if he had a collection of vinyl records. He probably does, right? Well, they're all coming back anyway. So much for the classics. It's like they're reprinting, remaking a bunch of classics. Anyway, it's Vinyl Records Day today. Hey, coming up at 7:16-ish, we have Mark Vega from McAllen PUB. There's some people go online, and I call them the Chicken Little crowd. They're testing local water and putting little sensors in water and all sorts of, water entities, water supplies, and glasses of water from restaurants. Is that a public service, or is that just nothing but unnecessary information scaring people into thinking that Valley water is awful and bad and poor? Because there's certain requirements that need to be achieved by local water purification entities, the public utility people. So we'll visit all that and take a look at that. Of course, desalination projects in the area. Mark Vega, McAllen PUB, in the studio coming up in just a little bit, so please stick around. Meantime, a look far, far west of us in the Big Bend area. Giant bulldozers are churning up lots of land in the Big Bend for what? More border wall.
The nation's top border security official is defending the construction. CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott says there's a lot of misinformation floating around social media. He says, no, a wall is not being built through the park.
There's plans on our website you can look at. We're going to update those because we thought it was pretty clear. It is not.
But the clearing of native wildlands in Big Bend has drawn bipartisan criticism from a collection of Texas politicians. It's one of the most remote national parks, and illegal crossings through that sector are the lowest along the southwest border. Michael Board, News Talk 710 KURV.
Cases of very awful, very bad fungal infections are popping up. Those infections popping up in several parts of the state of Texas.
What makes Candida auris dangerous is that it's often resistant to drugs. This harmful yeast can cause serious infection, even death. Hospitals and rehab centers are where it's spread. Dr. Louis Ostrovsky is chief of infectious diseases at UT Health, says it usually affects those with compromised immune system. A carrier touches a surface,
and somebody else comes and touches that as well without washing their hands, or a piece of equipment is contaminated after it was used on somebody who is a carrier, and then it goes to the next patient or person.
He says many people have it in their body, but you get into trouble when it gets into your bloodstream. He says sometimes doctors can't find an IV fungal that works and are left trying to access drugs that are under development. Barbara Schwartz, News Talk 710 KURV.
Up next on the Valley's Morning News, we'll take a look at reality, water quality in South Texas, despite what you might see on social media, a Chicken Little crowd out there saying the sky is falling, and look at desal projects as well in the area, including McAllen's plans. Mark Vega McAllen PUB next on the Valley's Morning News.
Our riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're looking to stay ahead in the fast-paced world of business, tune into News Talk 710 KURV, the pulse of Valley business, bringing you the latest headlines, expert insights, and real stories shaping the Rio Grande Valley's economy. From local innovation to global markets, we've got it covered. Stay informed, stay connected, your go-to for everything business. The pulse of Valley business, News Talk 710 KURV, where knowledge meets opportunity. We're the Rio Grande Valley's home for Houston Astros baseball. We're News Talk 710 KURV.
Astros baseball on News Talk 710 KURV, weeknights and weekends only. So it's a day game, no Astros baseball today. And Thursday, they're off. So Friday, they're hosting Seattle. They're back home. 640 broadcast on 710 KURV. Big thank you to Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. In the studio here at KURV, we got Mark Vega from McAllen PUB. Had a good powwow a few days back. Say, you know what, Mark, I think it's time to get back in the studio, get updates on what's going on with our water systems in McAllen. Let me start with something that I know is on some people's mind when it comes to water quality. And we were talking about this over lunch the other day, because they're out there on social media, and you know how it is on social media. A lie will make it several times around the planet these days, it seems, before the truth has a chance to get out of the starting gate. Okay, so for individuals out there, posting videos and getting eyeballs, and probably getting money, because you get views, you get out there testing water. Look, glass of water from here. Let me go to this restaurant. Let me go to this kiosk over here. Let me go to this tap water in all these different cities. Oh, look at that. Look at the numbers. Look at that. And there's a perception that, look, I know we're at the bottom of the Rio Grande, but there's a lot of work that is done with local PUBs, and they have to meet state standards, certain quality, to provide tap water. And yes, I know estamos chiflados. We're all spoiled. We like the taste of purified water. I say that, and that's fine. That's a product. That's a service. It's provided. But explain to working people headed right now, like the water we showered with, the tap water we drink or use for cooking. Explain how clean it is, the reality of how clean and safe the water is.
Thank you for having me, Sergio. Good morning. A lot of people don't realize how many people it takes to treat that Rio Grande River water and put that in a distribution system for hospitals, for homes, for schools, for radio stations, dialysis clinics. It's a 24/7 job that never, ever takes an hour off. I don't care if it's midnight on New Year's, 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day, it doesn't matter. There's always water treatment plant operators working around the clock to make sure that your water is high quality and potable, drinkable water. And so that's part of the frustration, like you mentioned, about social media and people that have maybe an ulterior motive to disparage the work that these folks do in our industry. And I don't know what that motive is, but they definitely don't come with years of experience in the water industry. And so, yeah, there's a little frustration there. At the same time, we have to keep focused on what we have to do. And so that's providing in McAllen, that's providing great quality water at a very competitive rate to 150,000 people of residents of McAllen. But everyone knows that McAllen, especially on weekends, swells to 200,000 people because of the amount of people that work and play here and eat here. And so this is a sort of a hub. And so we provide the water and wastewater services to that many folks here in McAllen and in the surrounding area.
Water purification efforts, new plants, maybe even on the sewers. I don't know if you'd like to explain some of the projects that are up and running or near future for McAllen.
Right. So we've got our major project is a very high profile project. It's the biggest project we've ever done, not only in McAllen Public Utility, in the city of McAllen. This is much bigger than the convention center, much bigger than the Performing Arts Center. Our new groundwater desalination plant in North McAllen at our North Water Plant, that is the largest project we've ever undertaken, but it's for a reason. And the necessity, 18 months ago, we were at 17% in both reservoirs because they're measured in tandem, Amistad and Falcon, and that's the lifeblood of the Rio Grande Valley. And so 17% in combination of both is a very unsettling place to be. And that's when we proposed to our board, we've got to do something to bolster our water supply independent of the Rio Grande River. And that's why we undertook this groundwater project.
How long is it going to take before we actually put some of that water in the McAllen reservoir system?
So we're scheduled to cut the ribbon on that in 2030, very early 2030 or late 2029. And so we're looking at another 3 years before we are pumping that water into our distribution system.
I get the feeling that the way things are growing around here, economic growth and migration to the valley, to Texas and to the valley, we might even be behind the curve a bit with what
we might. We're one of the few in the valley that will be desalinating groundwater through reverse osmosis. There are others that currently do it, but it's very, very few. You can count them on one hand. And so, but not to this level, not to 10 million gallons a day.
Yeah.
That's our goal, and that's what we want to reach. And that will bolster our, a lot of people don't realize that McAllen's daily demand is about 23 million gallons on average every day. Right now, in the heat of the summer, we're pumping 30 million gallons a day.
Oof.
And
wow.
Yeah, big difference between
everybody
summer
showering
and
twice.
winter. Yeah, well, I mean, that's just, it's a function. Every utility, especially when you sell water, is a function of the weather. Cold, wet weather, we're down to 17 million gallons a day. Hot, dry weather, we're pumping about 30 million gallons a day. And some of that goes to neighboring cities. We sell water to neighboring cities as well to supplement their water supply.
Where is it that McAllen will repurpose, or how will McAllen repurpose some water? There was talk about that as well. Like
Yes, so we've been recycling water for about, 15 years now. A lot of people don't realize that, but we recycle water out of our South Wastewater Treatment Plant, and that's type 1, what we call type 1 effluent, which is the highest quality of recycled water that the state recognizes. And some of that goes to our municipal golf course down in South McAllen. And then out of our North Wastewater Plant, we also produce about 6 million gallons a day, every day, of recycled water. And some of that goes to a power plant in Edinburgh, and the rest of it goes to that beautiful master plan community of Tres Lagos. All the irrigation out of that community is out of our recycled water from our North Wastewater Plant.
Now, Edinburgh is doing desal as well. They got a big project. There's probably a couple of other communities. I ask you because desal, I know from the Edinburgh perspective, if I remember our conversation with the Edinburgh mayor, he was telling us that in part it could help with attraction of industry and provide some of the water that they need to attain and probably repurpose and reuse on their own, like data centers and things like that. Are we also looking at that in McAllen where, in 3 years when we have our desal project, maybe we could provide data centers or other industry There's your batch of water. Okay, now you got your batch. Go reuse it and cool off your machines or industry
Absolutely.
assembly lines.
Absolutely. Now, that would be available for that, but we would much rather use our recycled water for that purpose, for industrial needs. That way, it doesn't come out of your water supply. Could we use it for that? Absolutely. But when you are recycling your wastewater to type 1 level, that is more than sufficient for industry needs, and it doesn't come out of your potable water supply. And so that's a huge, huge benefit.
Mark Vega is with McAllen Public Utility. In the news we started this week, or it was late last week, right? It was the cyber attacks, and they suspected it's Iran. There were systems in Minnesota and Michigan, a whole bunch of systems in other parts of the country. Their PUBs, their water systems were hacked, attacked. We don't know to what extent. We don't know if they were switching valves, like put some bad water and good water. We don't know what happened. I mean, the FBI is investigating that, but which begs the question for McAllen PUB and Amigos down the street. Do you know very well how they operate? Are we safe from cyber attacks where they can mess with our water systems and make it unsafe?
Well, you know, I've read those articles. I've seen the maps, and I think there's only been one southern state, if I'm not mistaken, out of the whole United States. Most of them are in the north and northeast. However, that does not exempt the Valley, doesn't exempt Texas. But, you know, that word safe is very, it's a level, how safe, right? Because nothing is foolproof. You know, we definitely keep our systems, and nobody likes to talk too much about their system controls, because that's where these attacks have been, in the industrial control systems. And but we are very safe. That does not mean that at any time a malicious email can't be sent and someone makes the mistake of clicking on that email or an attachment or a link. And so we have very safe systems, but training your personnel is it's just a critical part of cybersecurity.
I would hope, still, when you say, and you're the chief over water at McAllen, and you say, yeah, we're safe, but it's difficult to completely be safe. I'll be honest with you, that's still a bit concerning, if not unsettling, that we're still vulnerable for, you know, North Korea, Iran, anybody. They want to do something malicious, mess with our water and dirty it all up and gum up the systems. At conferences, talking with colleagues of yours, state level, national level, I'm thinking there's got to be a way, something to make it foolproof and safe.
If anyone ever claims they have a foolproof system, don't believe them. It doesn't exist. There's too many system controls that are computerized and run by software. Now, that's why I say safe has to do with a level of safety. There's a very low level of safety. There's a very high level of safety. And so your system is probably 75% of that, maybe actually less. So much more of that is preparing your workforce for these attacks, because it's one thing to have a firewall. It's another thing to have someone pick up a flash drive that's laying around and stick it in a computer, or get that malicious email that you think is from your bank or a utility company or a late payment, and you click on that. And so so much has to do with training your workforce to avoid those types of scenarios.
Mark Vega, McAllen PUB in studio. I would hope that that's top of mind at all conferences.
Absolutely.
Right? All the time.
Absolutely.
Trying to get, like, there's an alert. Oh, by the way, switch B is going to switch A or something like that.
Yes.
Or this pipe is, like, you get an alert
Right.
and physically can go stop it.
Yes.
You know, something like that. Just
Absolutely.
maybe get some sort of, all these bells and whistles.
Right. Right.
That move. Hey, on the water level, you mentioned earlier, we're at around 27 plus, maybe getting closer to 30, much better than we were before. So any and all water restrictions that I guess we never really did get to a full, like 15% is our trigger, right?
That's our trigger for
McAllen.
stage 3. Stage 2 is 25, and we're now considering moving off of stage 2, but we don't want to do it in the heat of the summer when there's a lot of irrigation water orders and demand from the river.
Is stage 2 like voluntary? Please restrict your...
Stage 1 is voluntary.
Okay.
Stage 2 is where you're restricted to watering 2 nights a week. And so that's the restriction. There's no restriction on how much water. It's simply watering 2 nights a week. And that's the vast majority of stage 2. And so, we are hopefully, if we stay, we're actually above 30%. We just reached 30%. We had a lot of rains the last couple of weeks, and they got the reservoirs up to 31%.
Hey, I got seconds left, and Freddie's pushing us out the door. Legislative session 27. On your wish list, on the ask list, what would you want lawmakers to do on the water issue?
Grants for our large projects.
Okay.
The more money we receive in grants, the less we have to increase rates on our ratepayers. So we're praying for more grants.
All right. Mark, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having
a great
me.
day.
Appreciate it.
From McAllen PUB, Mark Vega. He's the boss. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. We'll take a look at sports up next.
Hurricane season is here, and the time to prepare is now. News Talk 710 KURV is your home for tropical coverage 2026. We'll bring you the latest information you'll need to help you prepare should a tropical storm or hurricane develop, with trusted resources from AccuWeather and the National Weather Service, plus direct updates from local authorities. Be ready, be prepared. Tropical Coverage 2026 is powered by Lee's Pharmacy, Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, Vega Roofing, and the Omar Ochoa Law Firm.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
That sound? A melon field at dawn. It's where Monica de la Cruz's abuelo worked to feed his family. That's a steam press in the back of a dry cleaner's. That's where Monica pressed shirts, working her way through college. And eventually, a small business of her own. But today, the American dream costs more. Monica's fighting back. Our voice in Congress, Monica de la Cruz voted to end the tax on tips, passed no tax on overtime, and made sure seniors keep more of their Social Security. For a South Texas family, that's up to $11,000 a year back in your pocket. More dinners out, more celebrations, more moments together. Monica de la Cruz, fighting in Congress for our American dream.
I'm Monica de la Cruz, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Monica for Congress.
It's Fighting Texas Aggies football. Tune in for the 2026 home opener, Saturday, September 5th. Kickoff at 6 p.m.
It is a touchdown, Aggies!
On your home for Aggies football. News Talk 710 KURV.
Gig 'em, Aggies!
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The Texas Rangers lost the second game of their series against the Los Angeles Angels last night. Final score, 3-2. Despite an RBI single from Jared Kelnick in the top of the 6th inning, the Rangers couldn't complete the comeback. Cody Bradford had his second start of the year for Texas, giving up 3 runs on 5 hits in 7 innings pitched. The Rangers return to action tonight for the third game of the series against the Angels. The Houston Astros suffered a similar fate in their game against the San Francisco Giants last night. Final score, 4-1. Yordan Alvarez hit a sacrifice fly in the top of the 2nd inning, but that would be all the Astros offense could muster as they gave up 4 unanswered runs in the next 5 innings. Despite the loss, the Astros still hang on to the lead in the AL West by half a game over the 500 Rangers. The Astros play the rubber game of their series against the Giants this afternoon. With your Texas in the Morning Sports Report, I'm Adam C.
AccuWeather says, heat alert, heat alert, heat alert. Thank you, Lee's Pharmacy, for the heads up. Yeah. A bit of sizzling bacon for you right now. We're going to be, man, we're definitely going to be, I wonder if it's going to be hot enough to like cook an egg on the asphalt, right? Or maybe fry some bacon on the asphalt. Yeah. Here, taste it, Freddie. See if it's cooked, right? 107 for today. Yuck. 107 plus for the Western Valley, Central Valley. My goodness, 105 for tomorrow. So heat alert from Lee's Pharmacy, a reminder to check on the vulnerable in your circle of influence. You know who they are, folks, family they need to check up on. And check those car seats walking into H.E. Butt or wherever you are, Target, wherever you see a car seat, make sure there's no baby in there. Heat alert for the area. Just dangerously hot. Stay hydrated. Border Bridge wait times, it's busy this morning. About 45 minutes at B&M Gateway and Veterans. Hidalgo Bridge also at about 45 minutes at last check. Got some business news, check of your money. Next on 710 KURV, the pulse of the 956. And speaking of water quality, as I said in the conversation, estamos chiflados. We're all spoiled. Water and a pat on the back and congratulations to not only McAllen, but all the different water purification systems in the area for our municipalities. Water for cooking, for showering, safe, clean water. Man, they go above and beyond. But because we all prefer, yours truly, Mama and the kids, everybody, we all prefer the taste of purified water. They go an extra step of purification. In comes Culligan. And because you, in order to get that purified water, you think you get it with bottled water. You know what you get with bottled water, sadly? Because it's in plastic. The bottle is plastic, yeah. You got the microplastic issue that is just a reality. If you want to avoid that, and I know I do, get yourself a Culligan water purification system, state-of-the-art system that is affordable. It's only $35 a month. Get a constant stream of satiating, truly healthy, wonderful tasting water. Don't forget to connect it to the Icebox ice cold water on a day where it's like 110 degrees outside. Walk in and there you go. You got purified, truly healthy Culligan water waiting for you. Call them today. Get your system at 956-399-1780.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drt'sprimarycare.com.
How many commercials in a day do you hear ads for get life insurance, or financial, get a retirement account or talk with a financial advisor. These are things that when you sit down and you plan, they will create a wonderful benefit for those who you love. That's why you do it, right? Life insurance. You put your assets and your money in order to benefit your kids, to benefit your spouse, to benefit your family. Same thing when it comes to pre-plan and prepay a funeral event. I proudly speak on behalf of McCaleb Funeral Home, Mark and Carla McCaleb. And I do hope that you call Carla McCaleb, because that's the phone number I give you. When I talk about pre-plan and prepay for a funeral event, that's Carla's number, and they will go to you. Somebody from the McCaleb clan, as I lovingly refer to them. Somebody will go to Brownsville, Harlingen, McAllen area, Roma, Rio Grande. Sit down with you. Okay, let's look at all these questions, all the preparations, fill all this out, and then set up prepayment. Boom, it's done. Put it on the shelf, wait on the Lord, similar to life insurance. Call Carla McCaleb, pre-plan, prepay. My mom and dad did this for me years ago, and it made a difference. It really did. Very loving thing to do. 956-650-2841.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. An important inflation report due out later this morning could give the Federal Reserve a little breathing room in its battle against inflation. The Consumer Price Index from the Bureau of Labor Statistics is expected to show a modest increase for July, 0.1% on the all items headline number. On an annual basis, they are expected to show a 3.4% increase. President Trump on Truth Social criticized New York City's pied-à-terre tax and said he is exploring whether the federal government can intervene to stop it. The tax on non-primary residences of wealthy owners was pushed by Mayor Zohran Mamdani and passed by the New York State Legislature. Shipping data says that the tally of vessels tracked in the Strait of Hormuz fell to a one-week low of 8 as owners avoided the key waterway amid continued hostilities in the Middle East. CNBC reports that yesterday's tally of 8 vessels fell below a 10-day average of about 12 for the lowest daily count since August 5th. Futures are moderately higher. That's your money now.
Here's a fascinating note on the employment front. Check this out. So months ago, the Federal Aviation Administration, they opened up for hiring. And they went after gamers, video game, like gamers. They've hired 2,000 of them. There you go, Freddie. 3, 2, 1.
U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy made the announcement in a social media post over the weekend. The hirings were made after the agency launched a campaign in April looking for the next generation of air traffic controllers that had qualities like problem-solving skills and multitasking abilities. The FAA said the hiring effort was focused on reaching talented young people pursuing alternative career paths. It added that several controllers pointed to gaming as an influence on their ability to think quickly, stay focused, and manage complexity. I'm Wendy Swanson.
This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. AccuWeather says 107 for highs today. Yikes. As 105 tomorrow. Dangerous heat. Stay hydrated. Check on your family, folks who are vulnerable, and check those car seats. Make sure no babies in one of those car seats as you walk toward the store. That's a heat alert presented by Lee's Pharmacy. Right now it's 80 to 82 degrees across the valley. The latest from Fox News, and it's a Wednesday, post-election Wednesday morning. Yeah, some states were conducting primary elections, primary Tuesday elections. So a recap of that coming up next on 710 KURV on Fox News. JP and Jeff at Amigo Power Equipment, they invite you to stop by. Got a fresh pot of coffee. I'm sure they do around this time. They're probably working on their second. Stop by Amigo Power Equipment, visit with JP and Jeff, and take a look at the amazing inventory and all the attachments that you could drive away with. All this Kubota equipment, reliable tractors, durable, long-lasting Kubota equipment. The utility vehicles from Kubota, the Kubota zero-turn mowers as well. It's fun, it's effective, it's efficient, and they'll get the job done at the ranch and at the lease and at your property as well. At Amigo Power Equipment, you could be driving away today with a Kubota tractor, the Kubota LO2 series tractor, 0% financing if you qualify, or save up to $4,000 now through September 30th. Now, everything I mentioned here, you can get information at KubotaUSA.com. 0% financing if you qualify on the Kubota LO2 series tractor, or save up to $4,000 today, where you will find Kubota at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh on Monte Cristo.
Here you go, Dad. At LSNB, we build strong foundations on values that matter
and business practices you can rely on.
Investing in education,
volunteering in the communities we serve,
and fueling our region's economy.
For over 40 years,
our mission has been supporting area businesses.
We are LSNB.
Donating more money to more causes than all other area banks combined.
Here, in a place we call home. We are LSNB.
The Valley's Bank.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the calendar at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
It's the pulse of the 956. This is News Talk 710 KURV, Valley's Morning News for August 12th, 2026. Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz, Jason Caterina, and you and family. Thank you for joining us on the radio, 710 a.m. That's good. You can go find us online. Radio Panami is the free app, and you can listen on your smartphone. News on 710 KURV is a service of the Saxit Gun Show, bringing you the best gun show in the Valley. Saturday and Sunday at the McAllen Convention Center. Doors open at 9.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. New information about why President Trump switched from Air Force One to a military plane for his flight home from last month's NATO summit in Turkey.
According to various reports overnight, the threat to Air Force One was from a shoulder-fire missile that he found out about from Israel.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. In South Carolina, a field of 10, now just 2, interim South Carolina Senator Darlene Graham.
I want to thank President Trump, his steadfast support, and his complete and total endorsement.
She'll face Congressman Ralph Norman in the August 25th runoff for her late brother's Senate seat. Far-left Democratic Socialist Francesca Hahn losing to establishment Democrat David Crowley by less than a percentage point in the Wisconsin primary for governor. America's listening to Fox News.
Jury selection for a Cameron County capital murder case is now underway. So at the courthouse, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against Rogelio Martinez Jr. He is accused of killing San Benito Police Lieutenant Milton Resendez back in 2023. A very interesting note on new technology, soon to be used by Border Patrol. There's a new report saying that Border Patrol is working on purchasing several $1 million, Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, getting ready to purchase some high-tech, high-energy gloves to arrest people.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement plans to spend $20 million on thousands of pairs of electric gloves capable of delivering painful shocks. The Kentucky company that makes the gloves says they offer a humane, low-optics de-escalation solution for many situations facing officers in the field. They say their gloves leave no burns, marks, or scars. The DHS contract says the electric gloves could be distributed as soon as next March. I'm Rory O'Neill.
13 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. There are some data centers that Governor Greg Abbott is okay with.
And those are proposed sites for Skybox, Digital Realty, and Mara. Governor Abbott said those projects will comply with the standards and guidelines he established for data centers. Again, the main focus on these regulations involve the data centers essentially paying for their electric infrastructure instead of shifting costs onto Texans and small businesses. They also must reuse their own water and reduce the cost of electricity. Amazon and Google have both welcomed the new guidelines and say they will work with the state moving forward.
Freddie, you're going to need to provide a lot more slapstick humor on the YouTube videos that, in order to make some money on it. They're fine. I know that you're cooking and doing all these recipes, but now you need have a food fight. I think maybe that's how you get more views. YouTube going to make it a lot more difficult for content creators to earn money.
In order to get ad revenue, creators now need to have 8,000 qualified watch hours over the past year or 20 million qualified shorts views over the last 3 months. That's double the previous requirement. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Thank you much for making us a part of your morning. This is the Valley's Morning News, News Talk 710 KURV. 7 o'clock hour, and it also helps on Radio Para Mi. You can rewind any interview, any reports, any headline. What do you say? ¿Qué dijo? What was it? Yeah, go rewind at Radio Para Mi or YouTube, Facebook, X Live, 7 o'clock hour of the morning news. Thank you much for making us a part of your morning. News Talk 710 KURV. Home buyers and home sellers are on different tracks. I mean, it's understandable. So a buyer, you don't want to spend more for a new home than you have to. A seller, try to squeeze every penny of all that capital that you put into that property. In comes the top real estate team in the area. The Ryan and Brian real estate team, experts on either side expert on negotiating the best deal for you, the best deal possible. You can ask Angel. Angel just got an awesome deal on his new home in Edinburgh, thanks to the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Angel had been looking for a home. Like everyone, didn't want to spend more than needed. So here comes Danielle with the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Helped Angel find the perfect home and showed just how strong the Ryan and Brian team's negotiating skills are, because Angel was, because of Danielle's work at Ryan and Brian, Angel was able to get his home for $40,000 less than the asking price. That's impressive. And on top of that, Danielle with the Ryan and Brian team was able to negotiate another $11,000 in seller concessions. So didn't have to worry about fixing this, that, or the other. That is how awesome the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Find out why they have more than 700 5-star Google reviews. People so happy with the Ryan and Brian team. Here's the number, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
And now, Dr. Dennis Slavin from Rio Grande Pain Team with a breakthrough treatment that's helping people get back to doing what they love with PRP therapy.
Is knee pain keeping you off the golf course? Does shoulder pain make it hard to cast a fishing line? Are simple everyday tasks causing you pain and not allowing you to enjoy life? It doesn't have to be that way. Platelet-rich plasma, known as PRP therapy, uses the healing power already inside your body. We take a small sample of your blood, concentrate the powerful platelets, and place them precisely with image guidance into the injured, painful area to help promote healing, stimulate collagen growth, reduce pain, and support tissue repair, all without the need for surgery. And getting started couldn't be easier. Your first consultation is done from the comfort of your own home over Zoom, so you can find out if PRP is right for you without even coming into the office. Don't spend another day letting pain slow you down.
Rio Grande Pain Team.